Let's talk about something huge. We're going to dive into how artificial intelligence is changing everything for young people, and, more importantly, how a mindset of lifelong learning can help you grab this moment and turn it into your single biggest opportunity. You ready? Let's get into it. So, you hear about AI, and honestly, it's a mix, right? There's a lot of excitement, a little bit of fear, and definitely a ton of confusion. Is AI going to take all our jobs, or is it the most powerful tool we've ever been handed? Well, the truth is, it's not one or the other. It really all comes down to you. So here's our game plan. First, we'll look at how AI is shaking up the world of work. Then, we'll break down the 3 skills you absolutely need to have. After that, we're going to look at a totally new way to learn. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with some real, practical steps for students in Vietnam. All right, let's start with the big one, jobs. You hear all this talk about being replaced by AI. But you know what? That's not really the right way to think about it. The real story here is about transformation. It's less about being replaced and much, much more about being ready to reskill. This quote, it just cuts right through all the noise, doesn't it? It completely reframes the whole conversation. Your competition isn't the machine. The real challenge is becoming the person who knows how to use the machine better than anyone else. So the question is, how do you become that person? The future belongs to people who can shift their mindset. Don't see AI as a rival. See it as a collaborator, like a co-pilot. Think about it. The best programmers today don't just write code line by line anymore. They use AI to generate the first draft, and then their job is to guide it, to check it, to refine it. That's a totally different skill, and it's incredibly powerful. Okay, so if the goal is to work with AI, what skills do you actually need to be building? Well, experts are starting to agree on a kind of essential toolkit for this new world, and it really boils down to 3 key things. And here they are, the 3 pillars. Number 1, you've got to get your hands dirty and master the tools themselves. 2, you need to build a really broad knowledge base about the world. And 3, you have to sharpen your critical thinking. These 3 skills, they work together to make you indispensable. Now here's where the magic really happens. It's the synergy between these skills. See, anybody can punch a query into an AI and get an answer. But having broad knowledge, that lets you ask better, more creative questions, the kind of questions that lead to breakthroughs. And critical thinking, that's what lets you take what the AI gives you, spot its flaws, question its assumptions, and turn a generic response into a brilliant solution. That combination is what makes you so valuable. So, how do you actually gain these skills, especially when traditional education can be so incredibly expensive and honestly hard to get into? Well, this leads us to a really fascinating model for a new era, an institution called University of the People. This is their mission, and it's a pretty radical one. The entire goal is to tear down the financial and geographical walls that keep millions of smart, capable people from getting a university degree. It's all about access, pure and simple. And they're not just talking about it. They are doing it at an unbelievable scale. We're talking more than 170,000 students. Just to put that in perspective for you, that's bigger than many of the largest public universities in the US. And the global reach is just wow. Students from 213 different countries and territories. Can you imagine what that classroom is like? You could be working on a group project with someone from Brazil, getting feedback from a classmate in Japan. That's not just a class, that's a global education. So you're probably asking, how on earth do they do this? Well, the secret sauce is this incredible model built on a huge network of volunteers. We're talking 47,000 people, including deans, professors from top universities who all donate their time and expertise. That's how they keep costs so incredibly low. Now, I know what you might be thinking. What about quality? Is an online degree like this legitimate? Well, let's just tackle that question head on. The University of the People has the same accreditation from WASC as universities like Stanford and UC Berkeley. That's a huge stamp of approval. It means they meet the same high academic standards. All right, let's bring all this home and make it super practical. What does this actually mean for a young person in Vietnam right now who wants to build their future? Let's break down the specific path. So check this out. They offer degrees in fields that are in really high demand, like computer science and business. And since it's tuition-free, you just pay a small assessment fee for each course. We're talking around $160 for a bachelor's level course. This makes a fully accredited American degree more accessible than it has ever been before. And here is an amazing way to get started. Through a partnership they have with IBM, you can earn a professional certificate in a super hot field like cybersecurity or data analytics for free. And not only does this get you ready for the job market right away, you also earn university credits that you can use for a full degree later. It's a total win-win. So what does it take to get started? Well, the requirements are really straightforward. You need a high school diploma, you need to be proficient in English, and you need that one secret ingredient: motivation. You know, online learning takes discipline, but the flexibility you get in return is incredible. And this brings us right back to our central idea. In a world that's changing this fast, graduation day can't be the finish line for your education. Lifelong learning isn't just some catchy phrase. It's the fundamental mindset you need to have. It's about being curious and always staying open to what's next. So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. The future isn't some wave that's just going to crash over you. It's something you actively build. By preparing yourself, by learning new skills, by leaning into change, you're the one who gets to decide what happens next. And that leaves us with one final question. And it's really a question for you. We've seen that the tools are here. We've seen that the pathways to learn are more accessible than ever. So, are you going to wait for an opportunity to fall into your lap? Or are you going to go out and create one? The choice is all yours. Thanks for watching.